Hey, much love for all the support and all the comments on my video yesterday. It has like almost like 5,000 comments of people just giving me a nice prayer, a nice kneel, a nice handshake, a firm hug, anything that they possibly can to comfort me here in this this tough time of losing my poor headset. But we got some people coming in clutch. STEELSERIES said that they'll see what they can do about the whole thing. They tweeted at me and everything, and they were like, all right, well, we'll see what we can do. I DM'd them and everything. They were DMing back and forth with me. But also, Alexis was saying this headset, she may try and customize it herself. We'll get our own pink headset that way. So at the moment, I'm not having this issue, but it turns out I would be making a lot more progress on my MK2 and any other weapon or whatever for that matter if this matchmaking system, basically since this update has come out, the matchmaking system has been completely destroyed. I don't know what's happening. It seems to be especially bad at night. Like, sometimes I'll be sitting around and I'll have like these crazy moments right here where my screen will literally freeze for like 15 seconds at a time. It gets longer and longer with each and every single update. I actually just left this lobby, so don't put me back in there. I will wait 15 more seconds and see if somebody else connects to that lobby, because I left that lobby. Therefore, I should be exempt from ever being connected to that lobby ever again. I left. Do not put me back in that lobby on Shootout. Indigestion. Put me back in that lobby. I fucking dare you. I'll stop right now. I promise you I will stop right now. Okay, it's not the same lobby. I was actually about to just stop everything and not upload. I don't give a fuck. Ever since the update, the matchmaking system has been messed up. And what I mean by that is basically the search times have increased like tenfold. It's worse at different times depending on the time of day or whatever's going on with their servers. I'm going to assume it's something server side after the update or some shit. I have no idea. Matchmaking system usually in Call of Duty never really had this kind of issue before where, I mean, unless the game was like dead or some shit like that, right? But supposedly 50 million players, and obviously that's an incredibly inflated number. That's an incredibly inflated number across any game that's considered free. We all know that actively at that time that is not how many people are playing at all times, right? Because I've seen that argument down in, you know, replies to tweets and stuff like that whenever people were talking about this matchmaking issue or whatever. People are like, but if you got 50 million players, I guess the game's dying. After the update, you're telling me after a brand new update, everyone stops? You're telling me after a brand new update, which added a lot of new cool shit, has caused a huge mass exodus of players that just went somewhere else, just magically? That is just not what's happening. There's just something going on with the matchmaking system where whenever you're searching for a match here and it says 15 milliseconds ping, on a regular basis, mine will go all the way up to like 200 milliseconds. And it's searching for a match within those ranges, anything below this range. Before I was getting connected to matches within 15 to 25 milliseconds of each other. But anything, once it passes about 50 milliseconds or so, it's not really worth it to consider playing those games because of how bad the connections can be. And I'm not talking about straight up lagging or rubber banding or anything like that, but just the general ping issue whenever you're playing. Now, I'm searching for hardpoint right now, and usually I would be able to find a match pretty quickly, especially since it's midday right now. On a Sunday, I mean, people are on. I know people are on. This is just basically as a point. This did not happen before this update. Everything in multiplayer, even if Warzone does definitely have more players, we finally get into a match after searching all that time and I'm by myself. That usually is another thing that ends up happening. If it gets up to over 100 to 200 ping, it will usually connect me to a lobby by myself, and then people will start connecting to me. As my screen starts freezing multiple times, mind, it's probably trying to connect me to a different lobby. Or not, I don't know. This was never a thing. My screen would not freeze this many times for this long. It's just, it's not a thing. I'm not pausing it in any way, shape, or form. It is still frozen. There we go. And we're freezing again. Like, see, this is what I'm saying. The searching is just beyond broken. Apparently, this is also happening to Warzone, though, where people are having to sit in those, you know, queues for a super long time, which doesn't ultimately really make that much sense. Now, obviously, I know that gathering 150 players is way harder than gathering, say, you know, 10 players, 15 players, whatever, 10 players, 20 players, whatever. But basically, my point being, it's not that anybody quit the game or more or less people are playing. It's literally there is something wrong with this search system. So I tried playing last night, and all I did whenever I actually managed to connect to a lobby anyway, I got bad connection. For whatever reason, I just end up sitting through these queues after queue after queue with pretty bad connections. I just got off. Now, it doesn't mean that I won't get good games and shit. Like, literally, that last game that I was in, the connection was okay. Ended up finding the matches pretty quickly. Not bad. But there's definitely still something wrong. there's definitely something wrong. This whole freezing and all that stuff, I don't know. I know that the last patch that ended up coming out made it so that this game is literally over 200 gigs in total through all of its updates and the campaign and everything. This game is over 200 gigabytes, and maybe that's playing a role in... I did notice that Black Ops 4 over time, the more and more patches that came out, the more and more unstable the game felt. But search times weren't usually the thing. It was more so stuttering and weird little menu issues and bugs and UI errors and things like that. This, it won't even just allow me into a game. It doesn't. I've literally have sat in spots before for over 10 minutes just searching for a match where no one is connecting to me. And at one point, I started actually just turning myself back to online because I'm usually appearing offline, because if I appear online, people will join my session. That's how I was getting lobby started yesterday, before I ended up getting off anyway, because the people that end up session joining me usually do not play, they do not try to join my lobby and snipe with me. I know that. A lot of people have been telling me to try out some search and destroy, but I don't know. I want this whole thing to be fixed. They said that they were addressing the matchmaking issues yesterday or the day before that, and that they had been resolved. That's just not true. I would have been in this lobby right here. We've been sitting at 8 out of 10 and it's just waiting, loading level. Now we're finally here, but it has been sitting there that entire time. Usually it would be quick. I would have been in by now. And it's not like I'm complaining like, oh, I gotta wait 20 seconds instead of 10 seconds. I'm just saying, quite literally, there is something that happened after this patch. There is something broken, there is something wrong, and as somebody that has eyes on him to some degree, I should say something. Also, by the way, when they do go and nerf those akimbo snake shots, the new meta will be these dual Renetti. Turns out when you put a giant impenetrable shield on your back, you die a lot less. The fact that riot shields are impenetrable is just like, that's the biggest issue I see with them, to be honest. And they can just absorb any amount of damage, explosion, all sorts of other shit. They can absorb all of it and have just no penalty for it. It doesn't wear down in any way. Everybody can just put as many bullets as they want into it and it won't matter. Again though, I'm probably just gonna have to blame the spawn systems on this map for that. The spawn systems make it so you would basically have to watch your back at all times. Well, what's a better way to watch your back? Just make yourself completely invulnerable from behind. Perfect. Yo. Okay. Yeah, alright, never mind. Point fucking proven. I mean...